awkward family dinner. Mom?
What, honey? Your mom asks, not looking up from her phone. Just forget it, you respond, picking at your food.
Are you even listening? What did you make for dinner?
Don't worry about it, your mom says dismissively, scrolling through her phone. It's not important. Not important? Aunt Karen gasped. She cooked for us all day, and you say it's not important. I swear, these young folk have zero respect, Grandma Betty sighs, shaking her head.
Karen, would you cool it? All right. Hey, Mom, what could possibly be so interesting that's on your phone that you are ignoring everyone for?
Oh, don't get me started, Aunt Karen huffs,
Oh,
crossing her
fuck
arms.
you, Karen.
Your mom continues to ignore you, only grunting in acknowledgement. Back in my day, Grandma Betty starts, but is interrupted by Kyle. Yeah, we know, Grandma.
Hey, Kyle, get on board here. Karen, hey, Aunt Karen, get okay? What are you doing? You brought nothing to the dinner.
Everyone gasps and stops talking. How dare you, Aunt Karen says aghast. Where did you learn to talk that way? Your mom asks, horrified. Oh, the young these days, Grandma Betty clucks.
The internet has so much information on it. I just want everyone to know this.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet, Aunt Karen scoffs.
God damn it,
It's
Karen.
corrupting the youth, Grandma Betty mutters. Your mom is still glued to her phone and won't make eye contact with you.
Mom, what are you doing on your phone? And Karen, I swear to God, if you don't pass the potatoes, I'm gonna throw a fit.
It's nothing, your mom says, still not looking at you. Aunt Karen reluctantly hands you the potatoes, her face red with anger.
I pull out my phone and I text my mother so nobody else can hear auditorily. And I say, hey, is something wrong? Are you okay? Like, you can text me through here. Aunt Karen's a real bitch. Period.
Gasps from all around the table. Language! Grandma Betty scolds. Aunt Karen's face turned a dangerous purple color. Your mom sighs and finally looks up from her phone to read your text.
Well, you didn't have to read it out loud, okay? That was just for you. I don't know what happened there, all right? And Aunt Karen, you turned purple. I think that's an illness.
I do not have an illness, Aunt Karen sputters, clutching her chest. Language and an attitude, Grandma
I
Betty
hate
sighs.
Karen.
Don't worry about it, your mom says to the both of you, typing furiously on her phone.
Who else is at the table? Speak up now.
Everyone at the table looks sheepish and avoids eye contact. A long, incredibly awkward silence fills the room.
But not that awkward, though.
So, what's for dessert? Kyle breaks the silence, looking toward your mom.
Yeah, what is for dessert? A good question, Kyle.
That would be a great question, Grandma Betty says, looking pointedly at your mom. Your mom shifts uncomfortably in her seat, still staring at her phone. Just when the moment of tension is at its highest, your phone pings.
I read my phone.
Auspicious Beaver 2218, no more phones at the dinner table. Your mom snaps, finally looking up from her phone. Everyone else looks at her incredulously as she realizes her hypocrisy.
You texted me.
Your mom opens and closes her mouth, speechless. The rest of the table looks between you and her, eagerly awaiting your response.
I look down at my phone and I read the text message that was sent, and I really want to know what it says.
The entire table waits with bated breath for you to read the message. Aunt Karen looks like she's about to explode from curiosity.
What does it say?
Just read the message already, Aunt Karen huffs, gripping the table. Grandma Betty looks like she's about to pass out from the suspense. Kyle has his phone at the ready to take a video of whatever happens.
Kyle, you better hit record, okay? Karen, I'm trying to read it, okay? I don't know what it says, though. I can't read it in this context.
Get on with it, Kyle says, impatiently holding his camera. Aunt Karen looks like she's vibrating, eager to find out what the text says. Grandma Betty is gripping her chest, but seems to be holding on.
I'm pretty sure Grandma Betty's having heart palpitations. I don't know what the text message says. I guess I can't read in this universe. I'm going to stand up from the table and do a TikTok dance really well.
Everyone at the table is completely stunned as you stand up and start to do a TikTok dance. Grandma Betty's grip on the table loosens as she stares at you speechless. Aunt Karen and Kyle exchange a look, wondering what the heck is happening. Your mom puts her phone down and just stares.
Well, now that I have everyone's attention, Aunt Karen's cheating on Uncle Garen.
Silence falls as your words sink in. Aunt Karen's face has now gone from purple to ghostly white. Uncle Gary nearly chokes on his wine. Grandma Betty is gripping her chest again.
What do you have to say about that, Karen?
That's not true, Aunt Karen stutters, looking nervously to Uncle Gary for help. Uncle Gary is staring off into space, not meeting anyone's eyes.
I take a scoop full of mashed potatoes with my hand and I stand up, walking over towards Aunt Karen before I bury her face in them when I said, Gary, Gary, and I try to start a chant with everyone at the table. Gary!
Gary, Kyle begins, catching on. Gary, Grandma Betty echoes, catching on as well. Gary, your mom mutters, still looking at your Aunt Karen's frozen expression. Even your dad, who's normally completely aloof, begins to chant.
Make sure that was that on the, did you get that on camera? Also, Karen, how those potatoes taste?
Kyle grins at you and nods, holding up his phone. Aunt Karen struggles against you but is unable to break free. The entire table is chanting, louder and louder, as Uncle Gary stands up and begins slowly backing away. Oh God, Grandma Betty mutters, clutching her chest again.
Gary, sit down. I need you to see this. Karen, as I remove the potato mask I've built for her, slopping it on the ground, taking a spoon now, dipping into the gravy, holding it up hoistedly 2.5 inches away from her face. What do you have to say about cheating on Uncle Gary, Karen?
Aye, Aunt Karen stammers, covered in mashed potatoes. The whole table quiets down, waiting for her answer. Everyone's eyes are glued to the both of you. Your mom leans forward, a frown on her face. Uncle Gary still looks completely shocked, staring at the scene.
Well, as I slowly airplane noise the gravy spoon towards Aunt Karen's mouth, saying, you have to eat the gravy if you want dessert.
Aunt Karen's face turns a bright red as she stares at the spoonful. What? Uncle Gary says, finally finding his voice. Everyone at the table looks like they're watching a tennis match, eyes back and forth between Aunt Karen and the spoon. Grandma Betty grabs your dad's hand anxiously.
Hold on, Grandma. This is about to get a lot worse.
Oh dear, Grandma Betty mutters, gripping your dad's hand even harder. The whole table is dead silent, waiting to see what's going to happen next.
Aunt Karen, did you or did you not cheat on Uncle Gary?
Aunt Karen looks like she's about to explode from the pressure. You hear Grandma Betty mutter, Jesus help us all. Aunt Karen opens her mouth to speak, but then closes it again. Everyone is waiting on the edge of their seat for her to answer.
Tex, thanks for the resub.
9 months, let's go.
There it is, the 9 months. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. 9 months already? As he says to Kyle's phone, as we all realize now that he's been live streaming this entire interaction.
There is a collective gasp once everyone realizes what's happening. Grandma Betty looks horrified. Kyle grins and holds up his phone, clearly proud of himself. Uncle Gary facepalms. Aunt Karen looks like she's about to explode.
What's that smell? Do you guys all smell that? As I look around to everyone except Aunt Karen. And then I slowly shift my gaze towards Aunt Karen and I go, you smell like shit, Aunt Karen.
Everyone laughs, and even your mom can't keep a straight face. Aunt Karen's face is so red it looks like a fire hydrant. Grandma Betty is laughing so hard she's clutching her chest, and you think she might actually explode. Uncle Gary can't quite believe what's happening. Kyle is practically tears. Your mom catches your eye and smiles
Oh my God, I'm
slightly,
murdering.
clearly amused.
Well, and that's why you don't put out sweet potatoes and call them yams.
The room erupts in laughter again, and even Uncle Gary chuckles. Aunt Karen looks like she's about ready to burst a blood vessel. Grandma Betty is laughing hysterically, cackling really. It's the loudest you've heard her laugh in a while. Kyle is nearly on the floor crying, and everyone else is laughing or smiling. Your mom looks at you again, mouthing, "Nice one."
Happy Thanksgiving, motherfuckers.
Everyone laughs again, louder this time, and a few people manage to say something along the lines of "Happy Thanksgiving." Aunt Karen is red and fuming, trying desperately to struggle free of your grip. Grandma Betty has tears in her eyes from laughing so much. Uncle Gary looks like he's still in shock. Kyle grins at you again, holding up his phone and giving you a thumbs up. Your mom is shaking her head, but her eyes are still laughing.
I drop the gravy spoon on the floor, turning towards Kyle, and I go, well, we all learned something here today, didn't we? Every single one of us here at the table, where every awkward family dinner can turn into a nice laughter and not be awkward at all. Except then there's Aunt Karen, and somehow she's still here, okay? Adopted aunt somehow. And anyways, looking at Kyle, make sure you guys hit that like and notification bell. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Finger guns, a blazing, boom, boom, akimbo, two toots in the air, and then I put up at every single person at the table. Finger guns.
Kyle cheers and raises his hands in the air. Everyone at the table is laughing and applauding. Grandma Betty gives you an enthusiastic thumbs up. Uncle Gary nods approvingly. Aunt Karen is sulking, but no one pays her any attention. Your mom is watching you with a mixture of disbelief and pride. "Nice recovery," she mutters.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm having too much fun here. That's so funny. This is going to be weird. What's up, Squid? How many beers deep are we?
He chuckled at that, counting on his fingers, and he mumbled to himself as he drank another gulp. 7? Yeah, we're 7 beers deep.